Hey, listeners, it's Eric from the Great Pop Culture Debate here. I don't know about you, but I enjoyed the summer dining and drinking a little too much. And it's time to get back in shape. That's why I am loving Factor's no prep, no mess meals. They help you meet your wellness goals while still enjoying delicious, chef crafted recipes. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Personally, I love the shredded chicken taco bowl, the Parmesan and sun-dried tomato chicken penne, and the garlic mushroom chicken thighs with cauliflower rice. All delicious. It's honestly never been easier or tastier to eat well. Join me and make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 meals and more than 60 add ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Treat yourself to restaurant quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. Yeah, really, 2 minutes. There's no shopping, no prepping, no cooking, or cleaning up. Are you vegan or vegetarian? They have plant based options to suit your needs. Looking to pack on some muscle? Check out the Protein Plus menu. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage your calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. Ready to get started? Head to factormeals.com/greatpop50 and use code GreatPop50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code GreatPop50 at factormeals.com/greatpop50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Upon its release in March 1988, Tim Burton's Beetlejuice became an instant comedy classic. The macabre romp delighted audiences and critics alike with its out-there concepts, imaginative effects, and its cackle-inducing script written by Michael McDowell and Warren Scarron and delivered to brilliant effect by cast members Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, Alec Baldwin, and more. Beetlejuice is one of the most original film concepts of the late 20th century. So of course it was then mined for an animated series, video games, action figures, a Broadway musical, and, as of 2024, a sequel film due to emerge from the cinema netherworld in just a few weeks. So join us as the great pop culture debate turns on the juice and sees what shakes loose as we determine the best Beetlejuice quote. I was a student at Miss Shannon's School for Girls, and now I'm one of North America's leading Otho impersonators. I'm your host, Eric Rezsnyak. Please help me summon my panelists for this episode by saying their names 3 times. Our first panelist is a flake. He's always been a flake, and I've consistently lost money on his work. It's Bob Erlenback.
Don't you believe in my work and money? What money? Are people getting paid for this chicken shit gig?
Bob, if you insist on frightening us, do it with your sculpture. Next, he is himself strange and unusual. It's Jim Czadzeck.
My whole life is a dark room.
Well, you can try to scare me, Jim, but I'm sleeping with Prince Valium tonight. Finally, he wants to remodel this bracket, and he's on the edge of a nervous breakdown. It's Michael Schwarz.
Eric, you better make this happen, or I'm taking you with me.
May I recommend a little gasoline and a blowtorch? No problem. And up in the producer booth, we have Curtis Creekmore, filling in for Juno, our caseworker. If you're curious about how we ended up with this Sandworm 16, become a Patreon supporter of the podcast or listen to the 3-minute primer available wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget, you can head to greatpopculturedebate.com and find the listener bracket for this episode so you can play along with us at home. And with that out of the way, let's plummet off the Winter River Bridge, enter the afterlife, and get into these debates. First up, it's Beetlejuice versus Beetlejuice. We are literally going to have the demons running all through us tonight. Michael, why don't you kick things off by reciting Mr. Juice's bioexquisite credentials, while I respond with one of his most iconic rejoinders. Michael, please go first.
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague and had a pretty good time doing that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy. Now, what do you think? You think I'm qualified?
Excellent. You're really bringing the menace. I appreciate that. All right. Now, I will do my own Beetlejuice in his rejoinder to the Maitlands. Oh boy, you guys are really a couple of spooksters, aren't you? Now, let's turn on the juice and see what shake loose. So it's I attended Juilliard versus let's turn on the juice and see what shakes loose. Bob, where are you on this one?
I love the Juilliard paragraph. That whole monologue is just so funny. But as I'm looking at these as quotes and quotability and the ability to kind of walk away from the movie with a quote. You can remember maybe bits and pieces of that monologue or that paragraph about Juilliard. It's hysterical, but turn on the juice and see what shakes loose is something that you can just use in everyday life and walk away with. So I'm with juice and loose.
He's juice Newtoning. Jim, where are you on this one?
Well, I go a different way. I'm thinking about what one makes me laugh harder. Definitely, it's starting in Juilliard and ending with watching The Exorcist so many times, and it gets funnier. That progression just makes me laugh every single time.
I was going to say, I personally like I lived through the Black Plague and had a pretty good time during that.
Yes, where he starts so clean, and then it's just that reveal of like how terrible he is and how he enjoys it so much. So it's really a character development in the joke.
Yeah, it's perfect. Mm-hmm. So, Michael, I assume you're sticking with the Juilliard rant.
Well, yeah, when I actually submitted this quote for the list, I just included the Exorcist component of it. And what I really like about this quote is I think it speaks to what Michael Keaton and Catherine O'Hara both do in this movie, is that ramp up that happens in all of their opportunities to really grab the audience.
Agree fully. And I will say that for Bob, the line that you pointed out, the like, turn on the juice and see what shakes loose, it is one of the like signature quotes from this film. I mean, it's so signature that, shocking, I'm going to do a RuPaul's Drag Race reference here. In season 8, Layla McQueen, in her entrance line, she's dressed up in a Beetlejuice costume and says, let's turn on the juice and and see what shakes loose. So it is referential in itself. But I'm still giving it to the Juilliard rant for all the reasons that we've talked about. Bob, you're sticking with juice?
I'm fine with it. Let's go with Juilliard. We're just having fun tonight.
That's right.
We're turning on the juice and seeing what shakes loose.
And as anyone who's dated me knows, I'm very loose. So here we go. Next, it's Lydia really leaning into her goth aesthetic while Beetlejuice sets some guidelines for work-life balance. Jim, please play Lydia Dietz in her moment of crisis while Bob portrays Beetlejuice. Jim, please go first.
I am alone. I am utterly alone. By the time you read this, I will be gone, having plummeted off the Winter River Bridge.
You did it, Jim. You were that poor girl. All right, Bob, please take on Beetlejuice.
Gladly. Whoa, thank you. That is why I won't do 2 shows a night anymore, babe. I won't do them. Well, what do we got here tonight, kids?
Thank you. Excellent delivery. I love that. Michael, it is a choice between I Am Alone and That's Why I Won't Do 2 Shows a Night. Where are you going on this one?
Oh, this one's super easy for me. This is Lydia's I Am Alone because of also just the lead up to it where she writes it and then crumples it up and starts again. And then she makes like 3 times before we even get to this.
Yeah, I agree. It's the comedy in because like what's more like 14-year-old girl? I assume Lydia's like 14, but then her like starting super emo, scratching it out, starting again.
Yes, exactly.
Out, more and more emo and sad over the whole thing. It's so performative, but it's perfect.
And it's perfect. Her all in that dressed in black.
Yes, looking all pale and tragic. So I am also giving it to the I Am Alone. But Bob, I fucking love That's Why I Won't Do 2 Shows a Night. I won't do it. It's a step against I Am Alone. And I know you get it, Bob.
Yeah, I love both of these quotes. I use them all of the time, as you know. Anytime I am alone, I always say, I am alone.
It's true.
But that is why I won't do 2 shows a night. I use that all the fucking time. And I know I say this in all the quote episodes. It's like, well, I use this all the time, or I use it, and it's so useful. I can say that even out of the context of the movie Beetlejuice, where you can say that to folks in a mixed crowd and they just get it no matter what. It doesn't need to even be tied to Beetlejuice. Maybe that's a knock against it. I don't know. But I won't do them. It's that extra. I won't do it. It just makes it hysterical. So I'm going to stick with 2 shows a night.
All right. But that's still 3 for I Am Alone. Unless, Jim, are you changing your vote?
No, I agree with everything you said about it being the performative teenager. That's the joke inside of it. That's really funny.
Perfect. So you are not alone, and that will continue into round 2. Next, it's all about communication. Michael, please embody Adam Maitland as he attempts to understand what the handbook for the recently deceased is saying. Jim, take on Beetlejuice as he explains to Lydia why he can't just tell her his name. Michael, please go first.
I don't see anything about heaven or hell. This book reads like stereo instructions.
Excellent. Jim, please be Beetlejuice.
Because if I tell you, you'll tell your friends. Your friends are all calling me on the horn all the time. I got to show up at shopping centers for the openings and sign autographs and shit like that. And it makes my life a hell, okay? A living hell.
Excellent. So it's between this book reads like stereo instructions and it makes my life a hell. Bob, which one is it for you?
I am with a living hell because it is so absurd and hysterical. He's a dead guy who's like, makes my life a hell. All right, a living hell. I love the stereo instructions line, as a joke in the movie. It's not something, you can use it as a quote outside the context of the movie, but it's just more muted and softer, and it's just not as big and performative and showy. I'm going to stick with makes my life a living hell.
What I think is funny is that the Maitlands, who are adults, cannot understand this book, and Lydia, as a 14-year-old, picks it up and immediately has it on lock. Like, she's like, yeah, it's like in chapter 3. Like, it tells you exactly what's going on here. So to me, it's funny for like a long-range joke, but the better line, I do think, is it makes my life a living hell. Michael, which one are you going with here?
I'm going to stay with stereo instructions because it's not just once. It appears multiple times during the course of the movie. And I think it becomes that running gag that really makes it the funny part of the movie for you.
Good point, because Mr. Dietz also specifically uses that exact same line later in the movie when there's a magazine. I didn't notice this until when I just rewatched this, which was the dead and the living cohabitating. And he's
right,
like,
at the end, he makes that same comment. This reads like stereo instructions.
Yes, so it is a running
sounds like
gag.
Lydia got an A on the math test.
Exactly. Jim, where are you on this one?
I agree that it does. That running gag part is really good, but I do love the living hell a little bit more.
I live in a living hell. It is who I am, and I won't do 2 shows a night. I won't do it. Oh, actually, that's a different quote. But I also won't show up for the
same kind of idea.
Same concept, and I'm not showing up for the shopping centers either. So I'm also going to give it to living hell, and that will advance into round 2. Next up, our characters are yearning for connection, albeit different kinds. Bob, play the esteemed Mr. Juice Esquire as he seeks some release after being rebuffed by the Maitlands. I will inhabit Lydia, acknowledging her outsider existence, with an assist from Michael, portraying Charles Dietz. Bob, please go first.
I'm feeling a little anxious, if you know what I mean. It's been about 600 years after all. I wonder where a guy, an everyday Joe like myself, can find a little action.
It's disturbing how authentic that sounded coming from you. And I might suspect this is not the first time those words have come out of your mouth.
No.
No.
It has been about 600 years, I'll tell you that much.
Amen. The Renaissance was wild, everybody. Okay. Michael, will you lead me in as Charles Dietz, please?
As soon as we get settled, we'll build you a dark room in the basement, okay?
My whole life is a dark room. One big, dark room. So it's where can a guy find a little action versus my whole life is a dark room. Jim, which one are you going with?
Well, this is a tough one. The dark room is so quotable, I think. The other one, it was, as Bob and I showed my 2 older kids this movie. That was the line that I was like, maybe I should have done this yet.
I was actually
went over their
you.
head. Probably went over my head the first time I watched it. But yeah, I still like the dark room one. I think it's so quotable, even though they're really both. It's a tough matchup.
Okay, Michael, where are you on this one?
Dark room for sure. The other one I've never even said again in real life, but I would say my whole life is a dark room.
That was a better line reading than mine, so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Listen to Michael's instead of mine. Bob, where are you?
I quote, I wonder where a guy, an everyday Joe like myself. I quote that all the time. I think it's super quotable. Not the whole thing, but pulling out that one part of the line I think is great. My whole life as a dark room is so similar, same energy. I guess all of Beetlejuice's are the same energy, but the same energy as the I am alone, which we pushed forward, I think, already, right? I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, it just doesn't sing to me as much as obviously the other line in this pairing. So I'm sticking with, I wonder where Joe, like myself, could find a little action.
What I find ironic is that any gay man who lives in a city can tell you that you can find some action in the dark room. That's where you go to find. Like, to me, these are copacetic. So, Jim, where were you on this one?
I don't know. That's a good argument. I might switch over if that doesn't mess things too much. I think maybe the other one I think is better than, because we already do have the other Lydia line that we went forward with, right?
Oh, Michael was cheering, but I think he was switching away from Michael's side.
No! But I mean, when you think about it too, it's like, these are one of those seminal Lydia moments too in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a good point. So, Jim, I need an answer from you.
I'll stick with I'm Alone.
Okay, so I have 2 for
It's
I'm
Dark
Alone.
Room.
Dark Room.
That's
Oh, Dark
right.
Room. See?
See,
Yeah.
they're the same line. I'm telling you.
They are not.
God,
They're
so
not.
you were miserable in New York and you're miserable out here in the sticks. At least someone's life hasn't been upheaved.
I am miserable now, so I'm going to say that it's going to Lydia and Dark Room, and we're moving on. So, next, it's more Beetlejuice on Beetlejuice action, as the majority of the panel gives us afterlife pride, while Bob prefers to speak on the hazards of visiting Saturn while a spectral entity. Bob, please go first, then Michael will chime in as Beetlejuice, with me setting him up as Lydia. Bob, go first.
Whoa, sandworms. You hate them, right? I hate them myself.
That was very good. That actually sounded like Michael Keaton. You're doing amazing out there, sweetie. All right, now I'm going to be Lydia. Michael's going to be Beetlejuice. Mr. and Mrs. Maitland, hello. Where are you?
Dead. Dead ski.
Of course they're dead. They're ghosts.
No, I mean they're gone, split, out of here. Afterlife kids, deceased.
Are you a ghost too?
I'm the ghost with the most, babe.
Excellent. So it's sandworms, you hate them, versus I'm a ghost with the most. Jim, where are you?
I mean, I'm the ghost for the most is like the trailer tagline, right? So I think that my vote goes to that because it's such a catchphrase.
Excellent. Bob, where are you on this one?
You know, I picked, obviously, whoa, sandworms, you hate them. But I think I agree with Jim in this argument. Like, I'm the ghost with the most is a tagline for the character, for the movie. It's just an important line overall. It is a line you absolutely take away at the end of the screening. Like, it's leaving the theater. Like, you're not going to remember half of these lines after a first screening or a first showing. That's one you're going to walk away with.
Yeah. Michael.
Ghost with the most.
Yeah, for me, it's Ghost with the Most, which is also Afterlife Kids, which delights me every time. And I use it all the time. We've been like, where are they? They're gone. They're dead. Afterlife Kids. I don't even know what it means, but it makes me laugh. So
Afterlife Kids.
Afterlife Kids. So it is a clean sweep for Ghost with the Most. Next, Shocking Nobody. It's another all Beetlejuice matchup, as I portray the demon terrorizing Maxie and Sarah Dean, and then Jim will be Beetlejuice as he offers constructive criticism regarding Adam's modeling hobby. Attention, Kmart shoppers! Well, I'm back. I feel real good about myself. You know what I mean? So, without further delay, welcome to Winter River Museum in Natural Green, a monument to the bored businessman. Come on and get a little closer. Step right up. Test your strength.
Eric, that was excellent.
Was
you
it?
channeled Beetlejuice.
I was that demon. Thank you very much. Now, Jim, you're also going to be Beetlejuice after he has been cast out by the Maitlands. Take it away.
Wait, I have a quick question.
Yes.
So I'm the one that has always encouraged you to add sound effects to this podcast.
So I will do honk honk for you, and then we'll try to see if I can
was like,
replace
do I
it,
need to
okay?
like get it ready or something? Because
you're good.
yeah, it's not going to do it justice if it doesn't have that part. No.
Fully agrees.
Nice fucking model.
Honk honk. So it's nice fucking model versus attention Kmart shoppers. Bob, where are you?
Nice fucking model, 100%. I was looking at this matchup and I'm like, I love both of these. That attention Kmart shoppers, that whole monologue is great, but it is just that. It is a monologue. It is not a quote. Altogether is what it needs to be funny. The attention Kmart shoppers is not a unique line to Beetlejuice. Like, that's just normal every day if you're referring to Kmart. Nice fucking model is that moment. It is a shared experience in the audience. It is that drop your jaw, like belly laugh out of nowhere, unexpected. It is, to me, outrageous. It is instantly memorable. It is 100% as the 10-year-old who saw it too young, leaving the theater in the backseat of the car going, nice fucking model to my parents. It is so funny. I watched it with Jim and his kids, and I'm sitting there giggling after it happens because I'm just looking at these two kids watching this movie, and they're giggling about it. Oh my God, it is so funny. I just such a great line, so incredibly well delivered. Michael Keaton is transcendent in this role.
Yeah.
Like, he is somebody completely different on another plane. So there, I've said nice fucking model.
That plane being the moon of Saturn. Michael, where are you on this one?
Oh, I'm attention Kmart shoppers, because this is the transitional part of the movie where we go from Beetlejuice just being like the specter that's in the background and everything and trying to help the Maitlands to crossing over to being an absolute like terror to everybody that is in that house. He's saying these lines. We're getting the arms rolling out, and the mallets getting ready to send Maxie Dean and his wife up into it at that point. So I think that whole, when you think about it as when we're talking Beetlejuice, you get attention Kmart shop as you know immediately where you are, what's happening, and where this movie is going.
So I have a couple things. Number one, what happens to Maxie Dean and Sarah? Do they die? Because we never see them again after that.
No,
so I
we
presume they're dead.
R.I.P. Robert Goulet.
In real life and on film.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, Bob mentioned that Michael Keaton is transcendent in this movie. He is. Fun fact, Tim Burton originally wanted Sammy Davis Jr. to play Beetlejuice, which is wild. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that movie? Third, even if I stuck with Attention Kmart Shoppers, which I think I'm going to, that gives us a split down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And on a mini-sode, we don't have seeds because there's no poll for this. We go alphabetically. It's Bob's tiebreaker. So Bob, where are we going?
Nice fucking model. Huh, huh.
Well, there you have it. So that's moving into next round. Next, I believe it's a unanimous decision against Otho, speaking to Delia as they begin their horrific remodeling of the Maitland house, and in favor of Lydia, again leaning into goth girl stereotypes. Bob, please be Lydia, and Jim, please do your best Otho impression. Bob, go first with the assistance of Michael as Adam. Michael, take it away as Adam.
You can see us without the sheets?
Of course I can see you.
Well, how is it you see us and nobody else can see?
Well, I've read through that handbook for the recently deceased. It says, living people ignore the strange and unusual. I myself am strange and unusual.
Excellent line reading. That was very good. Now, Jim, please be Otho, speaking to Delia as they decide to make the sunroom mauve, which Hagsville, but go on.
You read my mind. So few clients are able to read my mind. They're just not open to the experience.
Thank you very much. So, Michael, where are you on this one? It's you read my mind. Oh, well, I think we're unanimous, right? Is anyone voting for Otho here?
No.
No. Jim?
It's a good line, but it's not.
It's strange and unusual.
Otho's power in this movie is not in his lines. His power is
his presence.
Is his presence. He's great in the movie. It's just not, he's not a quote machine. Finally, in round one, the majority of the panel is siding with style icon and unwilling Harry Belafonte impersonator Delia, expressing her disdain for her new rural dwellings, while I am going for a deep cut, literally and figuratively, with the afterlife secretary. Michael, please go first as Delia, and Bob, please assist as Charles. I will be the receptionist with Jim playing my Barbara. Michael, please begin.
Charles, I will not stop living and breathing art just because you need to relax.
Huh.
I'm here with you. I will live with you in this hellhole, but I must express myself. If you don't let me gut this house and make it my own, I will go insane, and I will take you with me.
Excellent. You really, I feel like you have had that experience in your life. Am I wrong?
Oh, you know my ex-roommate.
Yeah, indeed I do. Excellent. All right, so Jim, you're going to be my Barbara. I'm going to be the afterlife receptionist whenever you're ready, Jim.
Adam, is this what happens when you die?
This is what happens when you die. That is what happens when he dies. And that is what happens when they die. It's all very personal. And I'll tell you something. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have had my little accident. So, Bob, is it going to be the I will take you with me, or is it going to be I would have had my little accident?
Tough call. We don't have a lot of Delia on this bracket. We haven't talked a lot about Delia. Miss Argentina is the receptionist in that. She won Miss Argentina pageant. It's a great line, but the ramping that we talk about when it comes to Delia and to Beetlejuice, like the growing in their deliveries, just can't be disputed. And I get it. It's like best quote. It's not necessarily best line reading that we're here arguing, but taking that line reading away and applying it and using it yourself is what's fun about the quote. Is it just continues to ramp. I will go insane and I will take you with me. And it's Catherine O'Hara. So that's where I'm going.
Jim, where are you on this one?
Bob, that's had to have been hard for you because I know you love the Miss Argentina line too. That I'm same, and I'll take you with me. The going insane. That's definitely what I'm voting for.
Michael Schwarz?
So I am sticking, I'm going to take it with you. But the one thing I just want to say about the Miss Argentina quote is that you get the reference later at the end of the movie about, if people commit suicide, become civil servants in the afterlife.
That's
which I think is just a great parallel. And the way that she delivers this here, and I will make a reference to the musical, the way Leslie Kritzer made it in the musical too, fantastic. But the whole little accident is great. But I am Catherine O'Hara. I drink her bathwater.
I was a full-on 40-year-old man before I understood that civil servants joke from Otho at the dinner table, and thinking back to that waiting room with all those civil servants who had taken their lives.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I was going to say deep cuts in this movie, but that's really bad timing in this joke particularly. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and move along because I believe it's a clean sweep for Delia, and I will take you with me. So that's the end of round one. We're going to take a quick break to make jerk-off motions behind our back. Oh, hey, Lauren Boebert, what are you doing here? We'll be right back after these messages.
$5 can't buy you much these days. In the 90s, a Big Mac Extra Value Meal rang in at $4.59. Today, that same meal will cost you $7.89 and leave you filled with regret. You know who would never do that to you? The Great Pop Culture Debate. For just $5 a month, our Patreon supporters gain access to a treasure trove of unaired content, like those secret fries at the bottom of the bag. So if you're hungry for some delicious pop culture content, pass on the Big Mac and head to greatpopculturedebate.com to become a Patreon supporter today. Now I'm hungry.
Hey listeners, it's Eric from the Great Pop Culture Debate here. I don't know about you, but I enjoyed the summer dining and drinking a little too much. And it's time to get back in shape. That's why I am loving Factor's no prep, no mess meals. They help you meet your wellness goals while still enjoying delicious, chef-crafted recipes. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Personally, I love the shredded chicken taco bowl, the Parmesan and sun-dried tomato chicken penne, and the garlic mushroom chicken thighs with cauliflower rice. All delicious. It's honestly never been easier or tastier to eat well. Join me and make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. Yeah, really, 2 minutes. There's no shopping, no prepping, no cooking, or cleaning up. Are you vegan or vegetarian? They have plant-based options to suit your needs. Looking to pack on some muscle? Check out the Protein Plus menu. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage your calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. Ready to get started? Head to factormeals.com/greatpop50 and use code GreatPop50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code GreatPop50 at factormeals.com/greatpop50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. And we are back for round 2 of our best Beetlejuice quote debate. Before we get into the Elite Eight, I want our panelists to share their social media accounts, what else they're working on, and their memories of seeing the film for the first time. Bob, what are you doing?
So my socials are at DisNerdBob on pretty much any social you would want to find me. As it pertains to, I'm not really working on much other than this podcast, but as it pertains to the original time that I saw this, I kind of shared a little bit in the first round. Saw it with my parents. It was like one of the very few times that I can say that my father went to the movies. In my lifetime, he's only been to the movies 3 times. I was with him all those times. It was Beetlejuice, Naked Gun 2.5, and Austin Powers 2. So
Your
those
dad
were
has a lane.
Nice.
He has a
Yes,
lane.
he sure does. But I remember sitting in the back seat saying, "Nice fucking model," when we were done. And then also asking, "Is this what it's like when people die?" And my mom saying, "Well, we don't really know." And I'm like, that didn't sit well with me as a 10-year-old in the back seat. But I'm also, and you can't see this because this is an audio medium, but I'm wearing my Miss Argentina sash, which I got at an Alamo Drafthouse screening of Beetlejuice. It was a Beetlejuice party where you could quote and scream at the screen, and you got these fun little takeaways. So I have my Miss Argentina sash on right now.
So stylish. Valentina is jealous, but also Alamo Drafthouse, sponsor us, please. Thank you very much. Jim, what are your socials? What are you working on? And thoughts about Beetlejuice? I know you've watched it with your kids.
Yeah. I'm still, I have an account on X that's at JCCAD, and I'm some other places, but I don't know what those accounts are. Uh, yeah, watching with Bob and and my wife, we watched with the kids, and it was such a blast. We've been, so as a parent, we're hitting that moment where it's like, is this appropriate enough? Is like, are they at the right age? Because Bob, the three of us have like so many movies in mind that we want to show them. And this one, we may have pushed it a little bit, but like I didn't regret the nice fucking model line. I thought that was hilarious that my kids got to hear that.
And how old were the kids when you showed it to them?
11 and 13.
Okay.
And so, and we can't, like we also did Spaceballs this year, which was another one where there's a little bit more than what we have around the household, but it's okay because it's so quotable. So it's okay. So they can throw them out there.
And we may do Spaceballs quote in the near future, especially because they're now working on a sequel to that. So there you go. Thank you very much, Jim. Michael Schwarz, what are your socials? What are you working on? And what's your first memories of interacting with Beetlejuice?
Eric, you know me, and I appreciate you think that I still have a social life of any sort whatsoever. But I'm pretty much just on Instagram at THERAX329, Therax329. So when you want to argue with me about things that I got wrong, feel free to reach out to me there and say mean and nasty things to me because, it just makes me feel better about myself. And I'm just working. I have no life other than work at the moment. But I do remember seeing Beetlejuice in the theaters. 15 years old. Their parents didn't really care much. I'm a solid Gen Xer when it comes like go off and do whatever you need to and then come home. Just make sure you don't die in the middle of it somehow.
Do you know where your children are? That's where it is.
That encapsulates my entire generation. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? Yes, I was at the movies watching Beetlejuice.
Exactly. All right. So thank you very much. You can find me at Eric Rezsnyak on Instagram, or just message at Great Pop Culture Debate on Insta or TikTok, or at GPCD on Mastodon. But what you really must do right now is sign up for our weekly newsletter, new every Monday at noon, that tells you about everything new in pop culture that week. Say new again. Sign up by finding the link on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com or via our link tree on any of our social media accounts. For me, we did not see Beetlejuice in the theater. I remember that we saw on VHS, ladies and gentlemen, when that was still a thing. And a fun fact about Beetlejuice relating to that is that Beetlejuice was the very first DVD that Netflix ever sent out in its DVD mailing service. It was a Beetlejuice DVD. So it unleashed the netherworld upon us. And now we have, 14 seasons of Love is Blind. So thanks for that, Beetlejuice. With that being said, let's move into round 2 so we can wrap this up and I can head to Dante's Inferno room for the girls. Here I come, baby. All right, we have an Elite 8. First up, we're not going to do the quotes again because you have no idea how many takes it took to get those right. But it is Beetlejuice's Well, I Attended Juilliard rant versus Lydia's I Am Alone. I Am Utterly Alone. I'm going to start the back of the pack. Michael, where are you going on?
So I'm kind of going back and forth on this one because I love both of the quotes for me. But looking at the way the rest of the bracket is laid out at the moment, I am going to go ahead and cast my vote for the I Attended Juilliard.
Okay, great. I'm going to go to Jim. Where are you? Is I Attended Juilliard versus I Am Alone, I Am Utterly Alone.
I'm playing the same cards, looking at the two Lydia lines. I like the next one coming up. So this one, the Exorcist line is mine.
You guys are playing the long con. I love it. Miss Argentina, a.k.a. Bob, where are you on this one?
I'm totally opposite on that. I prefer this Lydia line to the one coming up, and we haven't gotten to the rest of the matchups through this round, but it's mostly Beetlejuice. Funny in a Beetlejuice movie that most of the quotes coming out are going to be Beetlejuice, but I think that this Beetlejuice quote is a little bit too long and cumbersome. It's a great line. It's a great scene. It's a great delivery by Michael Keaton, but I am alone. I am utterly alone. It's so much fun to say, and just so easy to just take away and remember. So I'm with I Am Alone.
And you are alone. You are utterly alone because I'm sticking with the Juilliard rant. I understand exactly what you're saying about it's basically a paragraph, but it is a one line uninterrupted and it crescendos to that hilarious. And I've seen The Exorcist 1,600 times and it keeps getting funnier every single time. Do you think I'm qualified? Like, that's fucking great. So I'm going with Juilliard and it will continue into round 3. Next, it's Beetlejuice. Go figure. It Makes My Life a Living Hell versus Lydia's My Whole Life is a Dark Room. Bob, I'm going to start with you on this one.
It makes my life a hell. All right. A living hell. And I already feel like I'm getting set me up already because you all pushed the other Lydia line. But let's not make this a Gamera moment. So for those of you who want to know what a Gamera moment is, watch our Best Kaiju episode.
All right. So you're going with Living Hell.
Living hell.
Jim, Living Hell or My Whole Life is a Dark Room?
My whole life is a dark room.
And his room is actually getting dark as we say this because light is... No, it's great. So that's accurate. Michael Schwarz, is it Living Hell or My Whole Life is a Dark Room?
Jim, we need to set up a Survivor-type alliance here at this point, because I'm all about taking Bob down at the moment. But it is Dark Room.
So I'm also going with My Whole Life is a Living Hell, but that gives us a split decision, and the tiebreaker is with Jim. Jim, is it going to be Living Hell or Dark Room?
I took your kids to Disney World.
Oh, don't try to play that. It's Dark Room.
Dark Room. All right. So My Whole Life is a Dark Room will continue into round 3. Next, it's Beetlejuice versus Beetlejuice. The Ghost with the Most Babe versus Nice Fucking Model. I'm going to start in the middle of the pack with Jim. Is it Ghost with the Most or Nice Fucking Model?
I mean, Nice Fucking Model makes me laugh so much harder, so I'm gonna go with that one.
Michael Schwarz, is it Ghost with the Most or Nice Fucking Model?
Oh, no, it's the iconic Ghost with the Most.
Bob, Miss Argentina.
It is 1988, and a rated PG movie comes out with the phrase "nice fucking model" in it. That's how great the line is that they let that go through into a PG film. But I'm going to stick with Nice Fucking Model, and let's not forget the honk honk.
Honk honk is essential to that. I will say, this is a PG movie. That is crazy. It is a demon who is trying to sexually assault a teenage girl and then marry her. And it's a PG movie. It's rated the same as Anastasia. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, but that 14-year-old girl is Winona Ryder.
That's fair. And this is before she started shoplifting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to cast my vote here for Ghost with the Most. Sorry, kids. I love Nice Fucking Model. I think it's amazing. It's hilarious. But the Ghost with the Most is a tagline for this movie. We're tied. Michael, you're the tiebreaker.
I wonder which way I'm going to vote for this one. Ghost with the Most, please.
All right, so that makes it into round 3. Finally, in round 2, Lydia, I Am Myself, Strange and Unusual versus Delia, I Will Go Insane and Take You With Me. Bob, where are you on this one?
If we can't all agree on this, I will go insane and I will take you all with me.
Okay. Jim, Lydia's I Am Strange and Unusual versus I Will Go Insane and Take You With Me.
I'm kind of afraid. I'm afraid now. I like that there's some Delia representation on this last part. I don't want to eliminate her. So yeah, that I'll Take You With Me, I think, is a great one.
You'll take her with you. Michael Schwarz, is it Delia or Lydia?
I'm going to save my Amy Pilot reference for another part of this for us. So I'm going to Take You With Me.
Okay, we'll make it a clean sweep, and we will all take Delia and Going Insane into round 3. And with that, we have our final 4. We're going to take a quick break so I can talk with Barbara.
No, you don't need to talk to Barbara.
We'll be right back after these messages. These days, there's so much great TV. Sometimes you just don't have the time to tune in, but you're still itching to know what happened. Or maybe you watched the episode and just want to yell into the void and see if others agree. Well, if you aren't reading our episode recaps, you're only getting 3/4 of the story. The Great Pop Culture Debate publishes weekly recaps of some of your favorite television franchises, so you can stay up to date without even watching. Head over to greatpopculturedebate.com and make sure you never miss a moment. And we are back with the final 4 of our best Beetlejuice quote debate. At this point in the show, I always like to take a step back and see if the final 4 matches up with where I thought we'd be going. Quote episodes, I genuinely have no idea. It's impossible. It's highly personal. It's highly esoteric. It's what I like and what arguments make me swayable. So we have Beetlejuice's I Attended Juilliard rant versus Lydia's My Whole Life is a Dark Room versus Beetlejuice I'm the Ghost with the Most and Delia's I Will Go Insane and I Will Take You With Me. I would like to start in the middle with Jim. Is it I Attended Juilliard or My Whole Life is a Dark Room?
I still love the Exorcist, ramping up to the Exorcist line. I think that just makes me laugh every single time. So I'm sticking with that one.
Michael Schwarz.
I am going to stick with Juilliard here. Again, it speaks to the whole intensity ramp up argument that I've made before.
Miss Argentina, Bob Erlenback.
I am still going to go back to an argument I've made a couple times already through this episode, and it's about quotes. It's about being able to walk away and say something, and you can't just walk away from the movie and know that whole Juilliard thing. And I will argue that the Juilliard paragraph is actually better and funnier once you get the button of the reactions after that, where they're like, well, what we mean is, can you be scary? Oh, can I be scary? What do you think of this? It's got that button after that really intense moment. It's a great quote. It's a great, they're great lines. But to me, the quote, I'm just one big dark room. Like, it's just, to me, that's more of a quote.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. And yet, I'm still voting for Juilliard. Because, like, every piece of that paragraph, which is all really one run-on sentence, is so funny. Lived through the Black Pig, had a pretty good time during that. Like, that's hilarious, right? So I'm giving it to Juilliard. I'm sorry, Bob. So that will continue to the final two. Next is Beetlejuice's I'm the Ghost with the Most versus Delia's I Will Go Insane and I Will Take You With Me. Michael Schwarz, where are you on this one?
I just feel like my final two really just sets it up by having these two very intense moments next to each other for us to argue about in the final two. So I'm going to go with Delia and I Will Take You With Me.
Okay. Bob, where are you on this one?
I'm the Ghost with the Most, babe. Like, it's an encapsulation of almost the whole film and him as a character. So that's where I'm going.
Jim?
I agree that it'd be kind of interesting to have two ramp up lines next to each other, but I'm also thinking the Ghost with the Most is such the tagline and the memorable line that it's hard not to put my vote into that.
Yeah, I think I'm going with that argument too, is that it's not just the tagline. I personally have zero issues with two Beetlejuice quotes being the final two for a Beetlejuice episode. Because, and this is something, Michael, you were talking about when we started recording, we all think this is a great movie. It's a hilarious movie. It has made us laugh. But
the whole point, like, when I went back to prep for this episode and I watched the movie again, the movie is actually probably known for more the characters that are there, the effects, the costuming, the storyline. When I went back, I really had to think about it. This is not a super quotable movie to begin with. You know, you have, and I think this speaks to what Bob was talking about. You have these moments where you get these really intense moments, but they're not necessarily the most quotable parts of it. They're the ones that make us feel the most during the entire movie for us. Like, we feel something during the Juilliard speech. We feel something during the I Will Take You With You moment kind of stuff. Dark room, utterly alone, though you feel something. Ghost with the Most is, yes, it's the tagline, it's part of it. I don't feel something with that like I do with the rest of the things that we've been talking about in this bracket.
I think your point about feeling like here's the thing. We have not talked once about the Harry Belafonte dance sequences, which I think are centerpiece for this film. Both of them, both the Deo scene and the jump in the line scene at the end of the movie. What are we going to say, Michael?
No, I was going to say, literally, you just say Deo, and people are going, oh, Beetlejuice.
I mean, the trailer for Beetlejuice, that's how it opens, is Deo.
And that, that haunting children's choir music. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, but we can't have Deo as a quote, right? So I think that point, even though we love Beetlejuice, and I'm glad we're doing the celebration of it, it's a classic, it's not a super quotable movie, but in my opinion, Beetlejuice's quotes are the most quotable, and therefore I'm completely fine with the final two of Beetlejuice versus Beetlejuice, which is Beetlejuice's I Attended Juilliard rant versus Beetlejuice I'm the Ghost with the Most. I'd like to start with Bob.
Oh, golly. And so now you
really now?
Yeah, exactly. So now that it's here, I'm going to take it and I'm going to go with I attended Juilliard, and stick with that. So,
I love it.
I agree with Michael. You very rarely sway me on arguments, but you totally just did with regards to the emotion and the feeling and the intensity behind the lines. And The Ghost with the Most is a great catch line for the movie, but it really is hollow compared to this other line, I think. So. Good work, Michael Schwarz.
I want everyone to understand that what's happening is Michael is actually possessing Bob, just as Beetlejuice possesses. I, Lydia Dietz, am of sound mind and body.
Learn to throw your voice, fool your friends, fun at parties.
Yes, I love that, man of mine. All right, so that's one vote for I attended Juilliard. Michael Schwarz, where are you?
Before I get to that, two things. One, fuck you, Bob. Two, Eric, you think I would actually possess Bob? Love you, mean it. But yeah, I mean, I've argued for it the whole thing. I feel something when I hear the Juilliard quote. I've seen The Exorcist 167 times, and it just keeps getting funnier. That is the core of that quote.
So, Jim, where are you on this one? Is it I'm the Ghost with the Most, or is it the Juilliard rant?
I agree with everything that's being said. The Ghost with the Most is a catchphrase. It's not character development. And the Juilliard line really reveals a lot very quickly and makes him, reveals who he is pretty quickly to the audience. So it's great with that one.
He's traveled extensively. He went to Harvard Business School, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to make it a clean sweep. There you have it. Our pick for the best Beetlejuice quote is Beetlejuice's I attended Juilliard rant. Do you agree? Do you think we have as much taste as one of Delia's hideous sculptures? Tell us how you really feel by leaving a comment on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com, or find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or Mastodon. While you're there, make sure you subscribe and follow the podcast so you can hear about what new debates are coming soon, vote in open polls, and even decide which topics we tackle next. If you really enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to like and rate it on whatever platform you listen on. I want to say thank you to my panel. I swear those other panelists I previously worked with, they meant nothing at all, honey. And thank you for listening. If you loved what you heard, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where you can get even more exclusive content and you get episodes a whole day early. We hope you have a good one. And remember, everyone is entitled to their wrong opinion. Coach, I don't think we survived this podcast recording.
How'd you guess?
Hey listeners, it's Eric from the Great Pop Culture Debate here. I don't know about you, but I enjoyed the summer dining and drinking a little too much. And it's time to get back in shape. That's why I am loving Factor's no prep, no mess meals. They help you meet your wellness goals while still enjoying delicious, chef-crafted recipes. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Personally, I love the shredded chicken taco bowl, the Parmesan and sun-dried tomato chicken penne, and the garlic mushroom chicken thighs with cauliflower rice. All delicious. It's honestly never been easier or tastier to eat well. Join me and make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. Yeah, really, 2 minutes. There's no shopping, no prepping, no cooking, or cleaning up. Are you vegan or vegetarian? They have plant-based options to suit your needs. Looking to pack on some muscle? Check out the Protein Plus menu. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage your calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Ready to get started? Head to factormeals.com/greatpop50 and use code GreatPop50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code GreatPop50 at factormeals.com/greatpop50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.